Welcome in. Happy Monday. You have landed yourself in Words of Wisdom Tarot, and I am here exploring the collective energies through the lens of the chakras. My name is Wendy, with an E, and through the chakra system, I give language to what women inherently feel in their bodies and help them trust it so that they can make empowered choices. If you're new here, please be sure to do all the good social media things like share, subscribe, and definitely leave comments. I love to hear from my community. It's a beautiful day here in Calgary after last week, which was just, I don't even know. I don't have words for last week's weather. It just was weather, and lots of it. As you heard in my video the other day, the wind was just howling outside. And then we got 3 inches of snow. And then it snowed all weekend, and now there's no snow outside except for in spots that are shaded. Sun is shining, and I'm wearing a tank top, and by Thursday it's going to be 22 degrees. So welcome to Alberta weather. I hope you enjoyed last week's readings and that something in there resonated for you, and that something will continue to resonate for you as we do the readings this week. Okay, as always, just remember this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. That includes any of my personal diatribe about anything going on. You can just leave that. We're only here for the cards, right? Alrighty, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I actually slept a lot. Between the weather, the solar flares, I didn't stand a chance. I spent a lot of time sleeping this weekend, but I feel much better for it. Alright, so let's see what our chakras have for us today. Ace of Pentacles, Hanged Man, King of Pentacles, Hierophant. All right, 2 are coming out here. Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, 2 of Swords, and the Strength card. Underneath, we have the Knight of Wands, Page of Swords, and the 4 of Cups. Yeah, that's it, those 3. Okay. Alrighty. Happy Root Chakra Monday. Here we go. Ace of Pentacles. So this card is about new beginnings in being grounded and stable, which is great because, I mean, that's exactly what we want in the root chakra, is about finding what makes us feel the safest in our bodies and in our lives. This one talks about stability with money. I keep hearing the word earthy, which, I mean, pentacles are an earth element, so it's not surprising that it's coming up earthy, but this feels more like, or it's coming through more like, you know, salt of the earth. I don't know who that's for, but that's for someone pretty specific, I think, because salt of the earth isn't going to apply to just anybody. Unless we're talking about creating a business or creating a lifestyle that starts with salt of the earth. And if you remember what salt of the earth people are like, they're really down to earth. They're really grounded. They have good morals, good values, good ethics. They have integrity, right? They tell the truth. They help their neighbors. They live a good life. Salt of the earth people. Usually we would call them farmers, or, because they're the ones that lead a simple life. So a salt of the earth life could just be creating a brand new, simpler version of the life that you're already in. When we move up to the sacral chakra, we have the Hanged Man, which is about perspective. Now, with that perspective, because he's hanging there, he has no way to move. So he's having to sacrifice his movement, his freedom, to be able to figure out what that change in perspective needs to be, to become more simple in your life, Excuse me. Excuse me. Something on the floor, and of course a cat has to play with it. When you're hanging around and, you know, just trying to get a different perspective on things, there's sacrifice to be made. Sometimes you sacrifice your peace. Sometimes you sacrifice going out with other people while you're trying to find your peace. Okay, so these two cards are not talking to each other, so they are not related. But having a change in perspective in the sacral chakra area will help you, and actually it will come back to this because Ace of Pentacles being about money. Having a change of perspective in the sacral chakra area will also help you with your money issues, because that's where money lives. Money beliefs, they start in the root chakra, but they express through the sacral chakra. And in the solar plexus, we have the King of Pentacles. Now, this is an energy. This is not a person, at least not for this reading. This is an energy. Now, in the tarot, the Page of Pentacles is the only one who wants to become the king. And this king started off as a page who is not here. Thankfully, he's not here. Okay. So he knows what it is to have been at the bottom and built himself up to the top. This card is stating that you have already gotten yourself there. So in your solar plexus, you already have the energy of the King of Pentacles to be able to understand the change in perspective that you need to have the simpler, to understand the change in perspective that you need. This Ace of Pentacles is saying, no, don't include me in that. So your King of Pentacles is very much about being empowered about money, groundedness, being very, do you see how my body is changing? It's about confidence. Like I really feel this confidence coming from this particular card. So step into that energy. It's already there for you. In the heart chakra is the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is about social structures and what's traditional. And what I feel this card is saying is that it's time, because it really is actually making my heart ache. It's time for us to step out of the old, the traditional, and start to create new, because the old traditional way isn't working any longer. And we're seeing that as society is breaking down in every single direction. We are seeing that the traditional ways no longer work, that we are going to have to be a heart-led community, a heart-led humanity to be able to put all of this back together again. We're going to have to break with all the tradition and do things differently. You know, they do say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what this card is saying, is that it's time for change. All right. In the throat chakra, we have two cards. We have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Page of Wands. Okay. Okay. So the first card that's really speaking loudly is this Knight of Swords. And this card is speaking about, so knights are messengers, and the Knight of Swords is a very fast-moving messenger. The Page of Swords is, or sorry, the Page of Wands is a more creative type. He's more, the Page is more, although young, more grounded, more future focused, has a lot of fire, has a lot of creativity, but in this particular scenario, and when it comes to your throat chakra, you do have to use discernment. You can't just go willy-nilly giving people messages, right? Just because you feel like that's the message they need to hear. There are ways to deliver messages that can be heard. I feel like I'm being spoken to. Have some issues going on here. The Knight of Swords can be very reckless and impulsive and thoughtless because he's in a rush. The Page of Wands is future focused. So the recommendation here is to just be cautious about what it is you're speaking forward. If something needs to be spoken forward and you are not concerned about where the chips fall, then speak your truth clearly. Go through Knight of Swords, just cut everything down. But if the circumstances mean something to you, lean a little bit back into, the way I always did things when my kids were growing up was I tried to remember who I was at their age and remember what I wanted to hear. So just use that kind of an idea. I'm not saying to take a message and dilute it into something palatable. I'm saying find a way to deliver it so you're not taking your sword and severing all the ties. Okay? So this change in perspective up here could be very upsetting, and it could make you want to just don't do that. That's the advice right here, is don't do that. Change in perspective may bring up emotion, but it's up to you to regulate those emotions before you speak your truth. Okay? Two of Swords in the third eye is a crossroads. So this is about knowing and then having to make a decision. Now, the Two of Swords, the woman is usually sitting there with swords crossed over her and she has a blindfold on, and behind her is some mountains. This card talks about there being an option C that she can't see. Okay? So we have option 1, we have option 2, A or B, like it's usually cut and dried. But with this card, it suggests to stay open to the option in the middle that you cannot see, which talks about surrender, right? If you can't see it coming, what are you going to do? You're going to have to surrender and say, okay, universe, I'm going to have to let you show me the next steps because I'm not sure what the next one is. The first one would be to take off your blindfold. So illusions have been shattered. Decisions need to be made. There's an option you may not yet be able to see and may come into you intuitively because of the fact that it's sitting in your third eye position. And the last card in the chakras for the crown chakra is the Strength card. You were born with the strength to find your way through any situation that gets thrown at you in life. Even though, and I will tell you, I have had many, many months on end of not being strong, of not feeling strong, of not feeling supported by the universe, of wondering why I'm here, of having to get up every day into Groundhog Day, same day, over and over and over again. The same pain, the same neural loops, the same. And you don't feel strong in those times. But let me tell you something. I did not feel strong. But when I look back now, there was a kind of strength I was carrying that helped me survive. And it's the kind of strength that comes from more than just you. I know that even in my loneliest, darkest, most horrible moments, that my strength came from within and without. As above, so below. If we have strength and faith in something higher than ourselves, that faith will carry us through the most horrible times. And I know this because as I was going through a horrible time, over the last few years, and it's been horrible. One of my best friends also was going through an even more horrible time than I was. And she had the strength to still stay. That doesn't just come from in here or from your soul. That doesn't just come from life experience. Because checking out, it's kind of the easy answer. Easy. Please don't come at me. It's not the easy answer, but you know what I'm saying. When you're in that much pain, it really is the easy answer. Even though it's not. Having been there now, I get it. It takes incredible strength to keep getting up every single day in the very, very worst days of your life and keep putting one foot in front of the other. So just know you already have a connection to the kind of strength that you need to move yourself in whatever direction it is that will bring you this Ace of Pentacles. Okay? And underneath the deck, we have the Knight of Wands, Page of Swords, Four of Cups. The cards are saying to not be disappointed. Yes, to not be disappointed. To look at the cups that are still available to you and not the ones that have been overturned, spilled. You're being offered something. So the Knight of Wands is telling you to take it. It's a message coming in for you saying that, you want this Ace of Pentacles. We need to do some slow but steady movement with the Knight of Wands. And the Page of Swords is just here to kind of cut through the clutter. I feel like there's like some immature thinking that needs to be cleaned up, but it will cut through the clutter of whatever is stopping you from moving forward, from living the dreams that you're looking for. And hopefully that is going to come through clearly, because I see enough swords here to say that, something is going to be showing you both sides. Something is going to be giving you the information that you need to be able to make a good decision on whatever it is that you're trying to change your perspective on. Okay? So, with all that being said, I hope that there was something in here for you. And if there was, it would be great if you would share it with somebody that you think would really resonate with the message. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching all the way here to the end. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.